The studio lights of the view glowed brightly, reflecting off the polished table where the hosts sat, ready for another lively discussion. The audience buzzed with excitement. Today's guest was none other than Adam Sandler, a man known for his humor, humility, and unexpected depth. As Adam walked onto the stage, dressed casually in his usual laid-back style, the audience erupted into applause. He smiled, waved, and took his seat, instantly bringing a relaxed energy to the room. "Adam, it's great to have you here," said Joy Behar, leaning forward with a grin that hinted at curiosity and perhaps a bit of mischief. "Thanks for having me," Adam replied warmly. "I was told there'd be snacks, though." "I feel slightly misled." The audience laughed, and for a moment everything felt light and easy. The conversation began with familiar territory, his latest film, his career, and his journey in Hollywood. Adam spoke openly, sharing stories from his early days on Saturday Night Live, and how those experiences shaped his comedic voice. But the tone shifted when Joy leaned in again, her expression sharpening slightly. "You've been in this industry a long time," she said. "Some critics say your films rely too much on the same formula." "What do you say to that?" Adam chuckled softly. "I say, they're probably right sometimes. But people seem to enjoy them, and I enjoy making them." There was a ripple of laughter, but Joy didn't back off. "But don't you think you could do more? Push yourself beyond that comfort zone?" Adam's smile faded just a little, though he remained calm. "I think everyone grows in their own way," he said. "I've done serious roles, too. It's just, I like making people laugh." The audience murmured in agreement, but a subtle tension began to fill the air. Another host attempted to lighten the mood, but Joy continued. "Some people feel comedy like yours avoids real issues. Do you think entertainers have a responsibility to address serious topics?" Adam leaned back slightly, folding his hands. "I think everyone has a responsibility to be honest in what they do," he replied. "For me, that's making people feel good. The world's heavy enough already." Joy raised an eyebrow. "But isn't that a way of avoiding reality?" The room grew quieter. Adam's expression shifted, still composed but now more serious. "I don't think making people laugh is avoiding reality," he said. "Sometimes it's the only way people get through it." A few audience members clapped softly. Joy pressed on. "But don't you think that's a bit of a cop-out?" That word hung in the air. Adam blinked, clearly taken aback. "A cop-out?" he repeated. "Yes," Joy said firmly. "Choosing comfort over challenge." For a moment, Adam didn't speak. The easygoing comedian seemed to disappear, replaced by someone more grounded, more direct. "I've spent my whole career working hard," he said slowly. "Making movies people love, supporting my family, creating jobs for others. If that's a cop-out, I don't know what to tell you." The audience grew louder, some clapping, others shifting uncomfortably. The producers behind the cameras exchanged glances. Joy wasn't finished. "I'm just asking if you've ever considered doing something more meaningful." Adam leaned forward now, his voice steady but firm. "Meaningful to who?" he asked. "You? Critics? Or the millions of people who watch my movies and feel a little better after a tough day?" The tension was undeniable. One of the co-hosts quickly jumped in. "Let's maybe talk about your new project." But the moment had already taken on a life of its own. Joy shook her head slightly. "I just think public figures have influence, and with that comes responsibility." Adam nodded. "I agree," he said. "And I take that seriously. That's why I try to put something positive out there. Not everything has to be heavy to matter." There was a pause. Then Joy said something that shifted everything. "Well, some would argue your work lacks depth." A collective gasp echoed through the audience. Adam exhaled slowly, then stood up. At first, it seemed like he might be joking, but his expression said otherwise. "I think I've said what I needed to say," he said calmly. The room froze. "Adam," one of the hosts began, but he shook his head gently. "No, it's okay," he said. "I respect different opinions. I just don't think this is the right place for this conversation anymore." The producers signaled frantically. The cameras cut to a wide shot, the music cue hovering awkwardly in the background. Joy looked surprised, though she quickly regained her composure. "Well, that's your choice," she said. Adam gave a small nod, then turned to the audience. "Thanks for having me, guys," he added, offering a faint smile. Some people stood and applauded. Others sat in stunned silence. And just like that, he walked off the set. Backstage, the energy was completely different. Crew members whispered, unsure of what had just happened. Adam moved calmly through the hallway, his expression thoughtful rather than angry. A producer caught up with him. "Hey, Adam, we didn't expect that." "It's all right," he said. "No hard feelings, just not my kind of conversation." Outside, the air felt cooler, quieter. Adam paused for a moment, looking up at the sky as if grounding himself. Later that evening, clips from the show began circulating online. Social media exploded with opinions. Some supported Joy, arguing that she asked important questions. Others defended Adam, praising his composure and authenticity. Debates sparked across platforms, each side convinced they were right. But for Adam, the moment wasn't about winning an argument. It was about staying true to himself. The next day, he appeared briefly in an interview. When asked about the incident, he simply said, "I think everyone's allowed to have their perspective. I just believe in what I do, and I'm grateful people connect with it." No anger, no drama, just honesty. And perhaps that was the most meaningful answer of all. Because sometimes the loudest moments aren't the ones filled with shouting, but the ones where someone chooses to walk away quietly with dignity intact.